So I wanted to follow up on this, which is what we talked about a little bit the other day, because this is Donald Trump raging and throwing a fit and getting it taken down. This is what Donald Trump does. Donald Trump has said it over and over again. He's a big ass crybaby. He doesn't like getting what he puts out there. He doesn't like being bullied. He doesn't like being called a Yahtzee. He doesn't like to be called fascist. He doesn't like to, because he can dish it out, but he can't take it. And he was used to fighting with, Republicans like Ted Cruz and little Marco Rubio. And now that he's dealing with people that actually can defend themselves, now he's getting really, really upset. So recently, what's happening? Gray pill. Breaking, James Comer has just issued subpoenas in the Epstein case. Among those subpoenas are Hillary, Bill Clinton, Bill Barr, Eric Holder, Loretta Lynch, Merrick Garland, and James Comey. Oh, really? I don't know anything about that. I'll have to check that out. Okay. So we never had this problem. Team behind Epstein Trump statue reacts to its removal. The statue of President Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein holding hands wasn't the first anti-Trump protest statue to go up on the National Mall, but those behind it said the National Park Service moved to take it down. The installation was unbelievable and disappointing. And this is because most of these monuments have permits, and they're allowed to be up for a certain amount of time. Now, the monument currently over in Thailand that has Donald Trump's face on it with Kim Jong-un, Vladimir Putin, and Xi Jinping, that one gets to stay up as long as they want because it's in Thailand and Trump can't do shit about it. All he can do is be mad. But, of course, we also had recently the TV that they had up that would play videos of Trump and Epstein at parties together. And then we had this one as well that had Epstein and Donald Trump, and it said best friends forever, and then it had the birthday post that was from the 50th birthday book on it. So earlier this week, an anonymous group called the Secret Handshake unveiled a 12-foot piece of Trump and Epstein holding hands in a prancing position. I love that they said it was a prancing position, with a tongue-in-cheek reference to Friendship Month. The art installation was intended to prompt conversation about the president's relationship with the late sex offender. Controversy around Epstein's criminal case files has divided Republicans and roiled the Trump administration for months. Before dawn on September 24th, representatives with NPS removed the statue and damaged it in the process. The Department of the Interior said only that the statue was not compliant with the permit, but the permit obtained by USA Today says the organizers would receive a 24-hour notice if their permit was going to be revoked. So this is what they did to it. That's some ass mad right there, okay? That gives ass mad, okay? That's what that gives right there. That is, he probably sent ICE agents out there. Probably told them, go out there and get them. There's Antifa, and they're putting up statues. The Antifa are putting up statues, guys. So, this gives ass mad. Let's accept that that's true. I've never had this problem in all the years I've been doing this, said Carol Fleshier, a DC location manager who has worked on major films like Wedding Crashers and Disney's National Treasure movies. Isn't that Nicolas Cage? That's pretty funny. Fleshier said she was hired by the Secret Handshake to be the location manager for the installation. She called the day the statue came down unbelievable. I've been doing this for 40 years, she said. The word to use is, I'm very disappointed. That's so classy. It's so classy. Okay. A National Park Service permit obtained by USA Today shows the statue was supposed to be on display through 8 p.m. September 28th, but the Secret Handshake said NPS representatives appeared around 5:30 a.m. September 24th, toppled the statue, and took it to a government warehouse. Footage shared by the group shows someone identifying himself with NPS, telling people behind the camera the statue was not compliant because it is too big before workers push the statue over. This is their Saddam Hussein moment. They're like, we got the statue down. I thought these people were against removing statues. I thought they were totally against the removal of statues. I thought they loved statues. Fleshier was also told the statue was bigger than what was outlined in the permit, but she said it was still smaller than the overall limit for the area. By the way, this is a lady who knows what she's doing. She says she's been doing this for 40 years. The permit says it may be revoked at any time after providing 24 hours written notice to the permittee, setting forth the reasons for the revocation. Flechier said they did not receive any notice. Organizers at the Secret Handshake, who wished to remain anonymous, said it was an example of an attack on free speech. The organization and Flechier said they tried to get the permit reinstated, but they were not allowed to put it back up. The Department of the Interior did not respond to multiple requests for an explanation. And this is where we're getting, right? So Trump and all of his cronies and all of his supporters like to scream about free speech, right? Free speech, free speech, free speech. But then when somebody says something mean about Trump, they're no longer free speech advocates. They want to call people names. They want to be insulting. They want to be bullies. The moment that anybody else does one of those things to them, all of a sudden the left is mean. Right-wing extremists commit violence at a 76% clip, and no one bats a fucking eyelash. The senator in Minnesota, Hortman, and her husband are literally murdered in front of their child. Don't bat a fucking eyelash. Charlie Kirk dies, they're ass mad, and they want everybody fired. This is like, it's never going to stop. It's been 7 months, 8 months now of just hypocrisy, 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 hypocrisy. It never stops. It's never going to stop because this is the playbook. They know that nobody on their side is ever going to call them out for anything they do. And they know that on the left, there's always going to be a certain group of people on the left that is concerned about the way that they are portrayed by other members within the left. So you're always going to have this dichotomy of people on the left that are criticizing, self-criticizing people within, thus they'll stop taking the actions that the right criticizes them of. Meanwhile, on the right, they'll just continue to deny that they were ever taking a part in any of this stuff, including the President of the United States. The Secret Handshake told USA Today they are a small group of citizens using The Secret Handshake told USA Today they are a small group of citizens using art and humor, I just put those two words together, to prompt political discourse. The statue was located across the street from the U.S. Capitol building facing the expanse of the National Mall lawns that leads to the Washington Monument. They said the statue took about a month to build. The Secret Handshake has put up anti-Trump installations in the past. The group also erected the so-called dictator-approved piece, an 8-foot-tall sculpture of a hand squashing the crown of the Statue of Liberty while making a thumbs-up gesture, and the gold TV statue, multimedia installation, in which a gold TV showed images of Trump dancing, including with Epstein. But this one seemed to have a bigger impact. Flechier pointed out that it received mention on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, which Donald Trump swears to God he doesn't watch, on CBS. He put the statue in the same victory for free speech category as the return of Jimmy Kimmel to his late night spot on ABC following a suspension over comments. So, this is our fourth statue over the last few months. They may not have liked everything, but we certainly didn't have anything revoked. We didn't have any warnings, Flechier said. For me and our group, it's heartbreaking. We worked so hard. So, like I said, the thing about this is you can say you don't like it. You can say it's not in good taste. You can say that it's offensive. Any of those things is completely acceptable. However, what you can't say is that you're for free speech. You can't say that you believe that we live in a society where Americans should be able to speak out against the President of the United States of America, whether it's Biden or Clinton or Obama or Trump or Bush. You can't say those things and then do things like this. Because if you're going to do those things, then you are a hypocrite and you are a liar. And this is something that, once again, when we look at MAGA Republicans, it is 100% the truth. They are liars, they are dishonest, they are hypocritical, and they don't care. Because like I said before, they're just going to tell you, yeah, shut up, whatever, lib, we don't give a shit. They're going to say whatever they need to say to their constituents. They're going to act as though the things that they do are never actually, the same as what they accuse the left of. But in fact, it's actually worse than what the left does. And that is only going to end with having the exact same thing happen from the other side when the other side is in power. This is why Rogan came out and said what happened with Kimmel was bad. This is why Ted Cruz came out and said what happened with Kimmel was bad. When a person that is in the spotlight chooses to express their opinion, it is the right of both Republicans and Democrats to push back against that opinion and even boycott their business if they choose to do so. But it is not acceptable for the President of the United States to take criticism from the citizenry and then suppress it. That is not acceptable. And what is going on when you have something like this, where you take down a statue that is literally a representation of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, the reason you're taking it down is because you know it's the truth and you want to suppress it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and check out that video on the screen now.